गुड इवनिंग, नमस्कार। स्वागत है आप लोगों का अनअकैडमी फ्लक्स चैनल पे। अनअकैडमी का एक्सक्लूसिव चैनल फॉर इलेक्ट्रिकल, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड कंप्यूटर साइंस स्टूडेंट्स। आई एम Suresh VSR speaking to you about most expected questions in EDC. More than just blindly doing questions, हम लोग सिर्फ questions blindly नहीं कर रहे हैं. Just give me a second. I'm just joining in the live chat. Yeah, just give me 1 second. Yeah, just give me 1 second, students. Just give me a second. About the most expected questions in EDC. Yeah. More than just questions blindly नहीं कर रहे हैं. Just give me a second. I'm just joining. Yeah. So that's where I'm joined. I'm in the live chat. Just put the sound to minimum. Hi VT, hi Ramesh Ahmed, hi VT and Shweta Paul, welcome. I'm not blindly doing problems. जैसा आप देख सकते हैं कि बेटा ये फॉर्मूला यूज करनी है, ये क्वेश्चन है, ये आंसर है। मैं थोड़ी थोड़ी क्वेश्चंस के जरिए थ्रू अ फ्यू क्वेश्चंस आई एम डेवलपिंग what all are the expected areas for questions in MOS capacitors. That's what I'm doing actually. Questions कैसे कैसे आ सकते हैं वो पढ़ा रहा हूं, साथ साथ कौन सी कॉन्सेप्ट से वो भी स्ट्रेस कर रहा हूं. So that approach will continue today also. Through a series of 4 to 5 questions like yesterday's class, I'll teach you what are the formulas that you have to remember in MOS capacitor. क्योंकि काफी formulas हैं जिनको स्टूडेंट्स बाय हार्ट करने की कोशिश करते हैं blindly. That's actually not what you're supposed to do. कुछ लॉजिक है उसके पीछे, छोटी छोटी डेरिवेशन है उसके पीछे, वो जानना जरूरी है. So today's class I'll teach you the derivation logic behind how to understand all the formulas in MOS capacitor. So welcome students, welcome all of you. Shivam Tiwari, Lakshmi, Ratnala and Saurabh, welcome. So this is Unacademy Flux, our YouTube channel. And of course this series is most expected questions in EDC. 4 classes अभी तक schedule किए मैंने, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. This series will again continue. After the response I got from students, मुझे लगा कि series को continue करना चाहिए. This series will continue post 14th or 15th December. Another 4-5 classes and so on it will continue. So this is a bi-weekly series. So this will surely going to continue. And in this process of continuing this series, next week it will be Hall effect, then semiconductor physics, then diodes. So every day we'll change the topic like that. So first day I finished BJT, second day MOSFET, third day MOS capacitor, fourth day also MOS capacitor. So on we'll continue with this series, bi-weekly series. So this will again continue next week. So on, this is going to be a bi-weekly series, right? So that's the schedule for us. Gautam Naik, hi. Deepto, Gopi, hi, Sumer, welcome all of you, welcome quickly joining you. This is also another free series, most responsive series happening, very excellent following in the app but not in the YouTube. This is for electromagnetic waves. Jo November mein half the topics are over, December I'm completing those topics. So that entire EM waves will be freely available in Unacademy learning app. So download the learning app, follow us live or watch the recording. So surely Gautam Naik, thank you. Surely watch waveguides. Waveguides is completely free. ये भी एकदम waveguides जैसा series है. Gautam Naik. Just as I put waveguides in YouTube completely free, I put it in app completely free. I'm putting EM waves also completely free, so that you will have a systematic order of the subject, not randomly spread out like that. We want to show that our plus students, जो subscribed students हैं, उनको कितना orderly subject मिलता है. So even in the free category, we are putting the same orderly sequence. That's the reason behind giving these classes actually. Yeah, sure. Anwar Asif, already there are 7 videos for interviews and interview guidance. ISRO interview के लिए there are 5 videos, 3 for general videos, 2 for BARC. So 9 videos already made on interview guidance. Do watch them in YouTube or follow them in my Telegram channel. So you got a lot of things, right? Thank you, Sumit. Thank you. So this is what is also going to start in the subscription. This is of course with the subscription. It starts and you can use my code for it, VSRS22. And this is a 15 hours class, just problems in EMT, 15 hours subscription course है ये. उसके बाद तुरंत we are having a full-fledged course starting. That of course is a complete batch starting for electromagnetics, for EC and electrical right now. 50 hours only for electrical and EC, just for the beginners. So ये भी subscription courses हैं. So we maintain the balance of free and subscription, but both will be systematically and orderly given, right? तो आज की क्लास शुरू करते हैं with the first question, first formula. आज का क्लास ऐसा लगेगा, you will feel as if I'm giving you some formulas. You should identify the formula. If you are not identifying formula, I'll tell you the backdrop behind it. So today's class will be like formula and the backdrop. How to remember it? What is a formula? How to remember it? What is a formula? ठीक है? चलिए. Yeah, Gautam Nayak, no, you should not do only previous year questions. You should do something new. You should always do the expected questions. Gautam Nayak, सिर्फ PYQs नहीं चलेगा. PYQs are only what are the areas they've asked. कुछ नया areas भी हो सकते हैं. So you have to take beyond the PYQs, especially this time. Watch my 70-day strategy video. Unacademy ऐप में मेरा 70-day strategy video है. Last 2 months में क्या करना है वो भी एक बार देख लीजिए. Gautam Nayak, you will get a very good idea. So look at the first question. Starts first question. Deep the poll, new batch is starting on 18 December, 21st December. I told you na, 21st December it's starting. 21st December ko new batch for 2022, GATE 2022 it's starting. It's starting with EMT. So pehla question ready, all of you? Please watch my Unacademy app videos. But all of them you will need a code, and this is the code you have to use, VSRS22. This code is at this corner, you can see here. This code को use करना जरूरी है because all new logins need this code now. So please use that VSRS22 code. That's also my Telegram channel. So this code you have to use for all new login, new users. तो बताइए इसका answer, students. In the depletion or in the inversion modes, which of the following rightly represents the surface potential? Surface potential, which of these formulas will be representing? Especially if it is depletion or if it is your inversion mode. Because students, let me remind you, if it is accumulation mode, surface potential is very minimum. Surface potential is almost negligible. क्योंकि accumulation mode में in P region you will get more holes, that's all. So potential difference is negligible. So surface potential is not to be heavily counted, especially for accumulation mode. इसीलिए मैंने पूछा भी नहीं है उसमें. So tell me the answer now, students. Only Sumer with the answer. Which of the following rightly represents the surface potential? Very simple, students. Surface potential. They will represent it as phi s or Vs. You can always obtain this by using something called as Poisson's equation. Where Poisson's equation is for a given charge and the voltage relationship. So कितने लोगों को Poisson's equation पता है? How many of you don't know Poisson's equation? Tell me. क्योंकि in EDC or EMT, Poisson's equation is mandatory for all formulas. चाहे pinch off voltage हो, surface potential हो, cut-in voltage हो, many situations need this Poisson's equation. So students, I can tell you that the answer is A. As all of you are busy telling the answer is A. Vinod, Saurabh, VT. But more than remembering the answer, you should always understand this. That whenever you have a Q charge and the voltage developed by a point charge, everybody knows it. That voltage is Q by 4 pi epsilon R. बट वहां पे क्यों नहीं कोई रो वी हो, बल्क चार्ज हो. If you have a charge per unit volume, we have to use Poisson's equation, which is d square v by dx square is equal to minus rho v by epsilon. It's a differential equation. A differential equation called as Poisson's equation. Hi Shishir, hi. Del square v is equal to something like this. Shishir, you asked about MOS capacitor, right? You had some problems. कल क्लास को नहीं आए थे. Today I'm there with you. So Shishir, get ready for what you need in MOS capacitor. All the clumsy formulas, I'll simplify them into one order. देखो. First one is with surface potential. So सबसे clumsy formulas को एक order में लाते हैं, देखिए. So surface potential की बात कीजिए तो it is as simple as Poisson's equation application. With what is rho v equal to? Rho v is charge per unit volume, which is number of carriers or dopants per unit volume into charge, because this is number per unit volume, number of acceptor atoms, number of carriers per unit volume by epsilon. So integrate on both the sides. Integrate on both the sides. dv by dx is minus E NA by epsilon into x, where x is width of that charge or depletion region, wherever the depletion region or width is. So that's where the first expression is dv by dx is. Again integrate on both the sides. So that v is equal to minus E and d by epsilon into x. This is x square by 2, where x is nothing but distance or width of the depletion region. That's where the answer is. That's where the logic is. This becomes your surface potential if this W is the width of the depletion region containing your charge Q or rho s. So surface potential is E and D or Na if it is P substrate, and if it is N substrate, dopants, donor, acceptor, जो भी कहिए, because here also you can use Nd or Na, here also Nd or Na. So if it is P substrate ultimately, Na, if it is N substrate, Nd, so that's where the answer is. Q, charge of the electron. So Q, charge of the electron is E, Na, width of the depletion region का square by 2 epsilon. Take 10 seconds. Any questions, ask me now. Take 10 seconds. Any doubts, ask me. So the surface potential developed can be as simple as application of the Poisson's equation, with x being width of the depletion region. Any questions, anybody, students? But for God's sake, don't by heart anything. No by hearting business. If you say the answer in 1 second by looking at it, मतलब आपने इक्वेशन बाय हार्ट कर लिया. सर कितने इक्वेशंस ऐसे होंगे? एनी इक्वेशन वॉट एवर इट इज, यू हैव ए सिस्टमैटिक अप्रोच फॉर इट. कल यही पढ़ाया मैंने कि इक्वेशन कुछ भी हो, यू शुड नो द थियरी बिहाइंड इट एंड द डेरिवेशन बिहाइंड इट. छोटी छोटी डेरिवेशंस. कैन आई गो टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन स्टूडेंट्स? लुक एट द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. कोई भी डाउट होता है कैन कम बैक. Which of the following rightly represents the oxide layer potential in the depletion or inversion modes? Surface potential नहीं, oxide layer का potential, not the surface potential, oxide layer potential. Take your own time, try to answer it. Tell me the answer. Yesterday I was developing concepts in the simplest possible way. Today I'll develop formulas in the simplest possible way. For everything. Accumulation mode में surface potential नहीं होता है, इसीलिए वहां पे नहीं पूछा मैंने surface potential, because it's almost zero. Surface potential starts to form when you have depletion mode or when you have inversion mode. उसके लिए फॉर्मूला हमने कैलकुलेट कर लिया. अब ऑक्साइड लेयर का वोल्टेज का क्या फॉर्मूला है? 80 rai, almost close. Very good. Very good. Which of these rightly represents, not for psi s? We already seen this. Now I'm asking for V oxide layer. Simple logic, students. It is nothing but the Q that you can expect in the oxide layer, across the oxide layer, by the capacitance across the oxide layer. Nitish Kumar Singh, very good. So it's Q by C. C per unit area. This is what is C. Ox is C capacitance per unit area. So is this Q oxide is rho S, which is actually Q per area. So what is your charge? Absolutely, Reviti, Raman, exactly. So what is your charge is? Charge per unit area, which is nothing but the charge per unit volume. Charge per unit volume multiply by the volume, you will get total charge. But I want charge per unit area. So multiply only by the width. Don't multiply by the area. By COX. No by hearting business. So once again look at to the point. Voltage across the oxide layer is nothing but charge across the oxide layer by the capacitance. Capacitance of the oxide layer is epsilon by width, epsilon by distance. This being per unit area, it is charge per unit volume into distance or width. In fact, if I multiply with area also, this becomes total charge. Charge per unit volume into the volume. And so is here also I should multiply into area. But I am not multiplying this area. So voltage across your oxide layer in either regions is ENA W by the COX. Most students break their heads with such formulas. Very simple. Very simple. Because your carriers and the carrier concentration decides the charge. Your carrier per unit volume will decide your charge per unit volume. Because depletion region forms depending on the number of carriers and the width will decide your charge. Any questions, anybody, students? Such simple points, if you know, nobody can confuse you. Sir, in both the questions, you've been talking about depletion or inversion. Depletion or inversion. Sir, are there no formulas for you to discuss in accumulation mode? No, nothing to discuss in accumulation mode, because your capacitance there, COX, is just nothing but epsilon by thickness of the oxide layer. That's it. That's the only thing which is involved. Thickness of the oxide layer, which you can write it as accumulated charge Q by the voltage across the oxide layer. And there is nothing like surface potential forming here, which is negligibly zero. The only thing is this VGS, if it is greater than your flat band voltage, then is when you get your oxide layer voltage, because the gate voltage is what is applied across flat band and the oxide layer. So you don't have any formulas to discuss in accumulation mode. Either the capacitance depends on the thickness of your oxide layer, or it depends on the accumulated charge and the voltage, and the voltage is nothing but whatever you are giving beyond your flat band voltage. So accumulation mode, I did not derive any formulas, or I did not ask you any formulas, because it's simple. Depletion mode, yes. Yes. Thank you, Revati. Thank you, Raman. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Rajababu. Bandaru Rajababu. Hi. Kishore. Hi. Chalo, look at the next one. Look at the next one. Look at the next question. Third one. Yeah. Slightly tougher concept now. Third question is something slightly tough. Which of the following rightly represents the surface potential in deep or strong inversion mode? Very close concepts, huh? Rajababu, 10-year-old student, still remembers me. Thank you. Deepto, you are attending EDC and networks from Ignite batch. Don't jump to the third subject quickly. Don't jump to the third because of live classes. My suggestion is, Deepto, per month don't do more than 2 subjects, because you're for GATE 2022. If you want live classes, EMT for fun or for whatever it is, stop EDC or stop. Networks don't stop, because networks is a basic subject. Stop EDC and come to EMT. But don't do 3 subjects parallelly, especially GATE 2022, na? So only do 2 subjects here. Yes, absolutely, twice the Fermi potential. Beautiful. Sumer, why did you go for B? I'm worried, Sumer. I'm happy that nobody is going with C and D. I'm really happy that you're going for A. Right. Simple logic, students. Simple logic. Very simple, crucial, very simple point. What is inversion? Is where the P substrate is depleted of carriers and gradually becoming an N channel. This is what inversion means. When can this start? If your gate voltage is sufficient enough that you give beyond the flat band, beyond the threshold, so that you can exceed beyond the flat band and beyond the threshold, there is when inversion starts. So what is threshold? Threshold is that region where the inversion starts and the P substrate now becomes N channel. So your VG will be equal to the VT when your flat band voltage plus your surface potential plus your oxide layer voltage is equal to the threshold. Right? So can you students now understand what will be your surface potential in this strong inversion? Beyond the threshold, what is the surface potential you can expect? It is that potential that develops. ये वो potential है जो P substrate N channel बनने के बाद आएगा. So how much is that value? Very simple logic, students. Very simple logic. Watch out the diagram yesterday. Watch out the diagram. If this is your oxide layer, if this is your metal, if this is P substrate, if this is the center Fermi level considering intrinsic, this is when it is conduction and valence. Being P substrate, where is your Fermi level? Typically you can expect it here. What is this gap, students? That gap is KT by Q ln Na by Ni. How much you are shifted above your valence band? How much you are shifted above your valence band is Vt ln Na by Ni. I hope you're all clear with this. So this is one of the major things, students, that you should be understanding, that when you have a P substrate, the shift is KT by Q ln Na by Ni. For this also remember there is a formula, that is law of junction. For this also there is formula, that is equating Jc equal to equating your drift is equal to diffusion. So law of junction, shift formula, conduction current is equal to diffusion current, all the three are same. What are the logic is? Now students, when this becomes N region, or when you are having an inversion here, what happens? You will find these levels heavily coming down like this. You will find these levels heavily coming down like this. So what I notice is the inversion occurring here, the levels will happily come down like this. इस process में see that your Fermi level is going close to the conduction band. And you know one thing, students, listen very carefully, 10 seconds. ये कितना conduction band को जाएगा, how much it's close to the conduction band is exactly equal to how much it was close to the valence band. How much of a N region can form is exactly equal to how much of P region it is. So how much it is from the conduction band means you can say KT by Q ln Nd by Ni. Replace the Na with Nd. So that is how it is. So this is one of the basic rules, students. When an N region forms, its carriers, majority carriers cannot exceed the value beyond what were the majority carriers here. वो जब P region था, कितने majorities थे, उतने ही majorities रहेंगे जब वो N region बनती है. I repeat this word, students. I repeat this statement. When an N region forms from P region, the majority carriers here which are electrons can only be equal to the majority carrier here, which are holes. Shishir, please have some patience. Shishir, please have some patience. Listen to it. I'm still coming to the point. So if you understand this point very carefully, students, when the inversion channel forms, inversion channel जब बनती है वो P substrate से the majority carriers or the electrons can only be that value which was equal to the majority carriers which are holes. My question is, did you follow this? And second thing, what is this rule called as? मैंने ये पूछा कि आपको समझ में आया, तो आए तो इस रूल को क्या बोलते हैं? Please answer this, Shishir. What is this rule called as? What is this rule called as? And did you follow this? Take 10 seconds and answer. क्योंकि this is very vital formula, very vital formula. Inversion में surface potential is a very vital formula, not blindly by hearting it. I'm waiting for your response, VT, Mukesh. I'm waiting for your answer. इस रूल को बोलते हैं मास एक्शन लॉ. इस रूल को कुछ नहीं बोलते हैं, just they call it as mass action law. What is mass action law? Product of majority into minority should always be constant. So पहले product था यहाँ पे majority of the holes into minority. So holes which are majority into the electrons which are minority, the product should always be equal to the electrons which are in majority into the holes which are in minority. This is called as mass action law. You can call it as equilibrium. You can call it as maximum possible condition. To roughly tell you in the most horrible way, Shishir, if a man becomes a girl, the properties of the girl can be that and that girly as equal to the man previously. मतलब जब P से N region बनती है, वो N region के जो properties है ना, they and they with the majority carriers can be the same as the P region majority carriers. So the common sense is this, students. Look at this diagram once again. Oh, sorry. Look at this diagram once again. If this, look at the conduction band, look at the valence band, look at its center. एक बार center देखिए, Fermi level of the intrinsic, and please notice the Fermi level of the P region. When these levels will shift down, they'll no doubt shift, students. ये भी center को देखिए. Let me just redraw my center. Let me shift them down. Let me shift them down. And let me show this extended. And if you watch it carefully now, this gap will be exactly equal to this gap. That's what I'm telling you. So that this is where you can see the oxide layer. So how much it is close to it, close to the conduction band, is exactly close to this. So इसको अगर आप phi bulk potential मान लीजिए, Fermi potential मान लीजिए, this is also phi b, Fermi potential. Shift, your surface potential is just nothing but double the shift. Very crucial, students, very crucial. Your channel doesn't form just like that, man. सर नहीं सर, कुछ भी मेजॉरिटी कैरियर्स आ सकते हैं, उसमें नहीं आएंगे. The majority carriers you can get, the N nature that it can have will be exactly equal to the P nature that the substrate was. P nature जो substrate के हैं वही N nature चैनल का भी बनेगा, इन्वर्शन मोड का, इन्वर्शन चैनल का. Take 10 seconds. If you're not followed, ask me now. Mukesh, VT, all my favorite students, I hope you're following. Crucial. So how much is this shift? If you know your surface potential. So surface potential is nothing but the potential difference. किसके बीच में? Inversion channel और substrate के बीच में. The potential developed because of the channel. So potential difference जो develop हुआ, the difference in the Fermi level from here to that here. Very crucial, students, very crucial. So that's where I hope you understand this formula now. Because your shift alone for a doping Na is Vt ln Na by Ni. Shift alone. Now students, let me just tell you how you can get this formula also. ये formula कैसे आएगा भी आप देख सकते हैं. That is equating your drift current equal to the diffusion. That way also you can remember it. But I hope I can't come down to semiconductor physics for this formula. So let me just summarize a small point. Surface potential is 0 approximately for accumulation mode. Any doubts? Surface potential is approximately 0 for the accumulation mode. Because P substrate में P channel बनना कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, कोई ज़्यादा potential difference नहीं आएगा. The surface potential has to be applied with Poisson's equation relating to the W dip for the depletion mode. Poisson's equation apply करके, but when it comes to the inversion, WS is twice this is the only point I have not taught yesterday. This is the only point I did not teach yesterday because this formula I was not teaching formulas yesterday. But you got the point? P substrate, P channel के बीच में potential difference लगभग 0. But depletion में रहेगा. कितना रहेगा? वो width of the depletion पे dependent है. My first formula today. First formula was this only. Then third formula today. You got the point? Shishir, I want you to be completely satisfied. It's not only Shishir, every student watching this. You should not leave the class half-heartedly. You should leave the class happily that you got some concept through a few questions I'm asking. Chalo. Now look at the fourth question. Much tougher question now. Now something more interesting. Threshold formula. What is your formula for the threshold? Which of these formulas rightly represents threshold? Look at these formulas and tell me which of them represents threshold voltage. Check the formulas carefully. So this MOS capacitor and the formulas for any condition, anything, you ask me any formula, I'll show it in this way only. You ask me for any mode, any capacitance, सर मेरे को डेप्लीशन मोड में कैपेसिटेंस का फॉर्मूला लिखो, या सीरीज ऑफ ऑक्साइड लेयर एंड डेप्लीशन, you can write any formula. So tell me the answer, students, here. Which of the following rightly represents the threshold? What is threshold? Threshold is that VGS or the VG where you overcome your flat band voltage, the surface potential, flat band voltage and your oxide layer. इन तीनों फॉर्मूला, इन तीनों वोल्टेजेस से आपकी थ्रेशोल्ड बनती है. बट स्टिल स्टूडेंट्स, if you watch carefully, how did you get this formula? Let's have a look at it once. Let's look at what is this formula corresponding to. The surface potential formula which I just taught, depletion region में पढ़ा है ना मैंने, that is what is exactly here. Oxide layer formula, that is what is exactly here. So this is equal to threshold. So nothing wrong to say that A is right. It's right. ये सही है. लेकिन एक statement होता तो, your threshold is that voltage where your surface potential is equal to double ना. Inversion बन रही है ना. The inversion layer is forming ना. So it should be equal to double. So then A is correct. Or A no, A is also correct. If they say this is maximum, W dip maximum. Because when the maximum depletion region forms, then inversion starts. So option A is right if only if you say this is maximum width of depletion region. 80 Rai, inversion is given now. That is when it is maximum. So W width of the depletion region maximum, absolutely right. Because when it is maximum, ये surface potential भी double हो जाती है. So option A is right if they give W width of the depletion should be maximum. यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं दिया ना, so don't go यार. Don't go for it. Any doubts, anybody? But otherwise, very nice question. Very, very nice question. The surface potential will be double of the Fermi potential if this is maximum. W dip is maximum. Take 10 seconds. If you got any doubts, ask me in option A. Option A में. Option B is certainly not for threshold. Threshold में ये भी काउंट करना चाहिए, ये भी काउंट करना चाहिए. ये तो सिर्फ सरफेस पोटेंशियल काउंट किया, तो ऑप्शन बी तो हो ही नहीं सकता है. सर फिर भी फ्लैट बैंड पोटेंशियल 0 मान लेते हैं. यू कांट टेक लाइक दैट. What about the oxide layer voltage? वो तो होगा. Some voltage will be there across the oxide layer. Electric field into distance. Some thickness is there for the oxide layer. So I am very sure, students, ये formula closely right if they say maximum width of the depletion region is reached. Because this formula is right if you reach the maximum width. चलिए, now when it comes to option C, yeah, this is very closely right. Very close, in fact, it's perfectly right. Why option C is perfectly right? Option C is perfectly right because they just substituted the WDE with the surface potential formula. So if you watch out option C, if you watch option C carefully, your VOX, which is ENA into width of the depletion region by the COX, they have just replaced, that's all. What did they replace with? They replaced with this. That if you understand this, that if you substitute for the surface potential phi s जो भी कहिए, which is double the bulk potential, this is equal to the same. So wherever they've got this expression, they've just replaced with it. That's what you can see. So W width of the depletion region is equals, look at this students, root 2 epsilon and in the place of the surface potential 2 bulk potential and of course by QNA, just substituted here. That is the answer. What a question, see. And any student trying to blindly by heart this formula will get confused. Always remember, for the oxide layer voltage separate formula. Remember, for the surface potential separate formula. But when these two are equal, when both are maximum, that is threshold. When the WDEP is maximum. Any questions, anybody, students? Any doubts? Now इस process में, in teaching these 4 questions, I finished all the formulas. There is no formula left out for me to teach now. That means every possible formula, accumulation mode, depletion mode, surface potential, oxide potential, gate voltage, threshold voltage, everything is over. Tell me which formula left out. MOS capacitor का एक formula भी नहीं छोड़ा मैंने. Every formula has been completed. Not even a single formula left out. Just check it now. Any questions, anybody? So MOS capacitor, the understanding is simple. Accumulation mode is the simplest. Some accumulated charge for some voltage. Nothing to write as a formula. Depletion region surface potential formula. Depletion region oxide layer formula is important. Inversion region का surface potential formula and oxide layer formula, they're important. That's it. That's all for today's class, students. I'm winding up. Any question, anybody, you can ask me now. Look at each question, each problem, each formula. Any doubts, anybody in this? Finish off. If you got any questions, ask me. Otherwise, I'll wind up. Now get me any problem, previous year question, next year question, anything. It can't be beyond this. Take out your previous year question, solve every question. If you can't even solve a single question, get me. So most expected questions doesn't mean doing previous year questions. It means getting a command over all the formulas existing. Any doubts, anybody, students? So this is surface potential formula. This is oxide layer potential formula. This is surface potential formula for strong inversion. This is threshold formula which contains even surface potential as well as oxide layer potential. That's what happens at threshold. ETRI, I've completed EDC in plus a long back. In fact, I completed in April itself. One batch I took up in September also. So I completed EDC long back. I finished in April. Ignite batch, it started on April 25th. It was an excellent batch. But you can follow even the latest September batch. September 5th or 15th it started. That batch also you can follow. That's excellent. In fact, both are excellent batches. Right? So shall we wind up, students, today? Next week I'll start. Next, after 14th or 15th I'll start. I'm going on a small vacation for 1 week. I'll start Hall effect, or you can give me whichever topic you find tough. और अगर आपको मॉस कैपेसिटर के प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस करना है तो भी बताइए सर मॉस कैपेसिटर के प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस कंफ्यूजिंग है बिकॉज माय हेडिंग इज मोस्ट एक्सपेक्टेड क्वेश्चंस दैट्स व्हाई आई डिड नॉट डू प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस अगर आपको कोई भी मॉस कैपेसिटर के क्वेश्चन टफ लगा तो प्लीज सेंड मी और नेक्स्ट सीरीज में ईडीसी विल कंटिन्यू दिस ईडीसी विल कंटिन्यू बट आई एम फीलिंग हॉल इफेक्ट विल टेक मेरे को हॉल इफेक्ट के कुछ क्वेश्चंस लगा के एक्सपेक्टेड हैं सो यू कैन सजेस्ट एनी टॉपिक अकॉर्डिंगली मॉस कैपेसिटर के अगर आपको प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस करना है तो भी यू कैन सजेस्ट मी So do follow me, students. Revati Raman, yes. Sure, anybody having doubts, stay back. Please stay back, don't worry. Those who have got doubts, stay back. No doubt about it. Shishir, you don't go today without clarifying your doubts. You should go very happily. Revati Raman, previous year questions really helps to know you the concepts. 80% command you will get it with previous year questions. But just 20% hai na, which are actually tough. They will get crucial, yaar. So doing previous year questions is only one stage. Beyond that you have to go. And Hall effect is there, ATRI in GATE. Everything is there in GATE, yaar. Nobody will remove any topic specifically like that. So GATE syllabus ऐसा नहीं कि इसमें से छोटा Hall effect निकाल दिए, छोटी सी diode निकाल दिए, या they don't remote only signal diode selectively. So GATE syllabus is never explicit. पिछले 4-5 साल से नहीं पूछा तो ये नहीं कि नहीं है. See, I'll tell you. In transmission lines, there is a topic called as Smith chart, which did not get a question for 13 years. 2005 के बाद 13 साल तक एक क्वेश्चन भी नहीं आया. 2018 में आया. So 13 साल में लोग क्या सोच लेंगे कि स्मिथ चार्ट सिलेबस से हटा दिए. So it can't be removed from syllabus. Hall effect is meaningless if you remove from syllabus. Hall effect is the beauty of the subject. EDC and how electronics is developed is understood with Hall effect, yaar. Though I taught Hall effect after 7 classes, we should teach in the first class itself what is Hall effect. They will enjoy EDC through that only. So undoubtedly Hall effect is in syllabus, no doubt. Okay. VT, bye, see you, bye. Shishir, last query, that confusion in charge equation for depletion and their sign. Okay. Yeah. Revati Raman, for the remaining 20%, you should develop concepts in such a way that you can answer any question. That is the level you have to reach for the remaining 20%. And second thing, for the remaining 20%, test series will help you. Remaining 20%, a few questions and models will help you, which have been given by the topmost teachers. If a teacher of a good quality has given questions, he will give you those questions which are not asked in previous year questions. So what many people will think is, नहीं ये questions कुछ घुमा फिरा के दे रहा है, ये गलत questions हैं, ऐसे questions नहीं आएंगे. वो आने के बाद पता चलेगा. So Revati Raman, for the remaining 20%, you should follow a quality teacher who gives quality questions different from the previous year questions also. Yeah, let's come to doubts part. Now this is Shishir. Yeah, charge equation for depletion and their sign. Shishir, this is one confusion you should never have. Shishir, I think I clarified this. I clarified yesterday. I think you have not watched it. I gave a very good summary. This is a doubt of Shishir. He has got a doubt about the charge sign. Follow a P substrate. So if you follow a P substrate as you see in this diagram, if the gate voltage is negative, negatively larger than the flat band voltage. Vg is less than 0 negative, and its magnitude has got to be greater than the flat band voltage. Then is when accumulation starts. This is how you understand accumulation. In depletion, which is something that starts with positive. So that's where Vg is greater than 0 and its magnitude, which is positive, no doubt. If it is less than threshold, this is depletion mode. If your magnitude is exceeding the threshold, this is inversion. Please look at yesterday's class for this, Shishir. Any questions? Any doubts? You can't believe it, I finished MOSFET yesterday itself. Today I just gave equations. And most people were thinking that yesterday I was teaching fundamentals. MOS capacitance कल ही हो गया. आज उससे associated formulas दिया बस for all possible cases. Yeah. सत्कार सिंह, मेटल वर्क फंक्शन के डेफिनेशन एग्जैक्टली क्या होता है? सत्कार सिंह, मेटल का वर्क फंक्शन या मेटल का एफिनिटी, इलेक्ट्रॉन एफिनिटी, बोथ आर सेम. इट इज जस्ट नथिंग बट द एनर्जी रिक्वायर्ड टू नॉक आउट एन इलेक्ट्रॉन from its conduction band or valence band to completely to free state. So what is work function is? What is work function is? Satkar Singh, when you have suppose a cathode, if you are heating this cathode, you will find electrons being emitted. The electrons come into the free space, forming an electron gun. Instead of heating, if you give an voltage like a negative voltage of minus V0, and if they are coming into the free space, this is called as work function. This is called as work function. I hope you got this. So, Satkar Singh, work function is the energy required in any metal to knock out the electron into the free space. Got the point? Any other doubts? Clear? Can I log out? If you got no doubts, we'll log out, students. Waiting for your confirmation. Waiting for any other doubts. Chalo. Good night. See you in the next session. See you in the next session with a few interesting topics in EDC. Something like this.